Hi, it's me, Rachel Lynn, and today is my January budget setup. Alright, I know, we're a couple days into January already, but have no fear, I have already planned all this out beforehand. There were just too many other videos that I wanted to post on certain days, and so this is just when I'm able to post this video. But rest assured, today is not even January, at least for me, even though for you, it is a couple days in. So let's go ahead and get started. You can see right here, I have already cleared everything out. I do have a paycheck that came in on the 29th, but of course I take that last paycheck and I apply it towards the next month, just because at best it's just a few days early for the new month, and so I just count it as kind of like I get paid on the 1st and 15th rather than the 15th and the 30th. You will also see a note here for new income. So starting January 15th, because that will be my first official paycheck of the year, I will start getting paid less, actually. My insurance premiums are going up. I will be readjusting my budget on the 15th or somewhere around there, and I will do a mid-month budget check-in with you and let you know what that's going to be. So going into February, my budget will look very different as well, because I will actually have a good idea of what it is I will be earning from month to month. So for this month, I have actually just kind of pared down as much as I possibly can with everything, just to prepare for that new income, even though thankfully only one of my checks will be the lower income. Before I begin, I have actually changed all of these things, and I did that starting in December. So if you'd like to know exactly what I've done, maybe you missed my December mid-month budget update where I changed all of this, then go check that out and you can see exactly what I changed. I did add in a savings line here. Right now I'm not putting anything in savings. It's just kind of like I have $8 left over from when I paid off my student loans in full, and so I'm not really sure if I should move that money over and then close that account, or if I should keep that account open, maybe just put just a tiny little bit in there each month, just for some extra savings, extra cushion. I'm undecided on this one, and so for right now I've just added that line in there so that that account is accounted for and I can see it up here. So I'm just going to go through and just kind of compare my general budget to my allotted spending. My general budget, this is what I look back on. If there's anything that I need to change from month to month, and it's just for like 1 month, I can look at my general budget and be like, oh yeah, I don't normally have, $80 for eating out. I raised it for that month because I knew that I was going to be on the road a lot or something like that. So I can go back to where I normally have my general budget. This general budget will be changing once I know my new income amount, but for right now, it's just kind of like what it was all last year. So let's go through each of them. My church, I am going to continue right now giving $25 a week. It comes out automatically on Saturdays. There are 4 Saturdays in January, so I have $100 allotted. My savings is nothing. My rent, that is actually paying for my undergrad, and it goes to my Nelnet student loans. My parents are covering that loan for me, but I pay them rent. I actually pay $200 in rent a month, but instead of just paying my parents, I pay my undergrad student loan. My parents will actually be paying me this extra money each month, and so I'm just putting in the regular payment. What I'm going to do is try to keep that payment within all of my other budget, so that that $75 that they're giving me extra, or right about $75 that they're giving me extra, is kind of like extra income. It's not really, but I want it to feel like it is. My graduate loan payment is actually $129.91. I'm actually looking at this and I should have changed that to $129.91, because these two payments come out automatically, and they will come out regardless of how much extra I pay. Then I have my extra student loan payment. My goal is to pay at least $1,000 extra towards my student loan. This, of course, will go to my graduate loan until that is completely paid off. As of right now, I have just shy of $50,000 left on that loan. My extra checking right here, this is really just half of my emergency fund. It is the checking account that is attached to my sinking funds and my savings account, so that I can easily access that money from those two savings accounts, because without the checking account, then I would have to transfer it to my main bank, which would take a couple of days. Where I have the checking account linked to those in the same bank, like I can transfer it immediately and have that money immediately if I need it. So my sinking funds, I was putting $305 a month, but I have lowered that quite a bit, you can see. This will be probably the new amount, but I'm waiting to change that completely on my general budget until I know exactly how much I will be making each month, and then I will fine tune this amount as we go. My HP Instant Ink was originally $15.89. I was paying for 500 pages a month, and I just wasn't using them. So I have actually lowered that down, and I think I will now get 100 pages a month, but I'm waiting to change that until the final budget comes through as well. My Verizon, I have put in $53.16. For some reason, it has been $53.16 for the last couple of months, putting me over like 9 cents every month, and so I think that might be a permanent change. I'm not really sure why or what happened there, but I have changed that. I still have Netflix, and that is $10.99 a month. I lowered my gas a little bit for the month of January. I'm not entirely sure why I lowered it to $70. I'm sure there was a reason. My groceries, I have lowered this a whole lot. Oh my goodness. Okay, so for Christmas, I received a lot of generous gift cards from my students and their parents. I actually got several Target gift cards. I got a Walmart gift card, and then I also got a couple of general gift cards. Now, most of the general gift cards were used to purchase a new camera that I got for Christmas, and I paid a little bit more in to get a slightly better camera, but I still have a little bit of general money left. And so I can easily purchase a lot of groceries this month at Target and Walmart and save a lot of money on that. So I have lowered that for the month until I find out exactly how much I'll be getting paid once I get my first check on the 15th. I also lowered my teaching budget. So I have actually considered doing that the last couple of months because I haven't been spending $100. Something new that I've done this year is actually asking my parents for help. So I actually teach at a pretty affluent school, and so while not everybody that sends their child to school there is wealthy, most of the parents do have more and can give more. And so I don't know why I've always shied away from asking parents for help, but they are able and very, very willing to help, which is a huge blessing. And so this year I have been asking for more help. If I need craft supplies or things like that, I've been asking parents for help, and they have been very, very generous and more than willing to send in a few things here and there, which has actually really helped me save a lot of money. So this will probably be a permanent change. I have also lowered my spending money down considerably for the same reason that I lowered down my groceries. I have plenty of extra gift card money that I can use instead of using my own money. I can use that gift card money if there's anything that I need or want to spend. And for restaurants, I also lowered that quite a bit as well. For the same reason, I also have several gift cards to a few restaurants. So a new category that I have put in, and I talked about this yesterday in my weight loss goals video, I am now going to start putting $50 a month towards that. It is a new category, but it is something that I think will keep me on track. Right now, I'm setting it at $50 a month. I don't know if I'm going to need more or if I'm going to need less, but $50 a month I feel like is a good amount because that money will be paying for a 5K race every month. It will also be paying for any diet bets that I need extra money to help pay for. It will also be going towards new equipment, things that I need. I am a little bit torn on whether this should be a sinking fund that I just put in every month. It might get moved eventually, but right now it is just a category all on its own. So as you can see right here, my general income has been $2,299.48. That is just what I get paid from teaching. Every other bit of extra income is just extra. That's actually why I have this column right here for extra income that I've made. Right now my budget, I'm actually under $200.09. So I sort of have that to spend, I guess, for the month. So this really is not a zero-based budget right now. It's just as low as I can possibly get it because I don't know what my income will actually be, and I want to have plenty of wiggle room. Plus, the more wiggle room I have, the more I can throw at debt at the end of the month. Really quickly, before I go on to sinking funds, I did want to show you, this is my weight loss allocation. It's just like my other ones, except it's a new color. Now on to my sinking funds. These were also changed dramatically during my mid-month budget update in December, and so I have actually fewer sinking funds than I used to have, trying to save as much money as possible to put towards debt rather than save it in a bank account just sitting there doing nothing. So I have half of my emergency fund in one account. The other half of my emergency fund is kept in my main bank account just as a buffer. I did a video on why I only have a $500 emergency fund, but basically I live at home. I have a major support system and I have a lot to fall back on with my parents. I also have plenty of sinking funds, and I have a lot of extra income that goes towards my student loans. In a month, it's actually, like you saw before, it is $1,000 is my goal, and so I do have a lot of extra income. So basically that's why I only have a $500 emergency fund. So the rest of my sinking funds, I am starting out this month with $310 towards Progressive. That's my car insurance. I am starting out with $35 for gifts. I am only putting $35 a month towards my gifts. That is for Christmas at the end of the year. That will bring me out to about $400 next year. This past year I spent very little. I spent under $150 total for all of the gifts that I got for people. Last year I was putting $50 a month for $600 by the end of the year, and because I was able to do so well, I am actually lowering that to $400. If I spend it all for Christmas at the end of the year, then I spend it all. If I don't, then the rest of it can go to debt at the end of the year, kind of as like an extra bonus, I guess. My miscellaneous fund, that covers anything extra that might come up, such as my Amazon Prime renewal, taking my dog to the vet, because I had several other sinking funds that was holding up like $600 or more of my money, and I felt like that was ridiculous, and so I lowered that to $100. That covers all those other little sinking funds that I really don't need, and it just makes me feel better to have a little bit of cushion, even if that cushion is just $100. Car repairs and replacement. My car is getting older. It did need a $1,500 repair this past year, and so I do have a limit of $5,000, so I will just be putting $25 a month in that, and I'm going to try to keep all of these consistently $25 a month. Clothing, that is a sinking fund that I have just to keep myself under control, and I can only spend from there. I've actually thought about putting $300 at the beginning of the year, not adding anything to it all year, and then limiting myself to $300 for the entire year. It's just something I've considered, but right now I'm just adding $25 a month. My medical fund, I have $250 in there. That is used for anything from buying medicine for when I'm sick, to my prescription eye drops, to contacts, to doctor's visits, and anything like that. So my laptop fund was originally replacing my laptop / buying a new camera / a new hard drive. Well, I got a new external hard drive for my birthday. I got a new camera for Christmas, and I did put in a little bit of my own money, but I just used general gift cards that I had gotten for Christmas, and so now this is strictly a new laptop fund. Right now I have $225 in it. My goal is to be able to buy a Mac. However, I'm really just going to keep saving until my computer goes out. If at that time I have $225 in that account, I'm going to go buy a $225 computer. If I have $1,000 in that account at that time, then I'm going to buy a $1,000 computer. Maybe. I don't know. Like, I almost feel like, really? $1,000? That's a lot. Do you really need a $1,000 computer? I don't know. But I just don't know. I'm just going to keep saving for a new computer until this one goes out. Then I also have family time. I have talked about this before, but my mom is very sick, and so if something comes up, we want to do something as a family, including traveling somewhere or flying somewhere or something like that. I'm going to go because I want to spend that time and be with my mom and all of that, no matter what. And so I am saving for that. It could be a large variety of things. It really is just spending time with my family in this uncertain time with my mom. The last category I have is called extra change, and that is just because I'm really weird. I like round numbers. I like it. I just don't like things to be off and have cents here and there. It just is harder to count that way, and so I just add extra change, and as that fills up, I will allocate it in other places. And so right now I just have $14.98. So in total I have $1,534.98 in my sinking funds account. That really is just like one account except for my emergency fund, and I keep track on here as far as how much I have. So going into the new year, I really want to try to only use use my sinking funds for what they are meant for. I had to shuffle sinking funds around when I had a $1,500 car repair, and I just kind of started to feel uncomfortable a little bit in some of the things that I took out, such as medical and even laptop replacement fund, just because I know that when this goes out, I'm gonna have to get a new computer. So that is my January budget setup. It is a zero based, but as you saw, it's not quite at zero. I needed that extra leeway in there just because I am uncertain as far as exactly what I will be getting paid this month. However, that extra $200 already has a name, and it's called debt. So it will go to debt if I do have that extra amount left over. I would love to know your thoughts on my budget. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you've set up your budget, and then of course what you think about mine. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you are not already, and continue to watch my updates, continue to watch me get out of my student loan debt, as well as lose some weight along the way. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.